Good evening, solar YouTubers. It's around 7 o'clock. Let's see what the star of the show is doing. She is just laying down. She's ready for bed like her daddy is. So ready for bed. I'm going to do a quick video here. I got a little motion light up there. It's solar. It charges up. So batteries got charged up today. Real good sun. I made some coffee, tea. So that's why my batteries are down. So, just been watching some YouTube videos. I just wanted to just throw something out there real quick. Solar is not green energy. All right. Why I say that? These batteries right here, the carbon footprint it takes to produce these batteries were never offset. The carbon footprint it takes. People don't understand. First, you have to mine these minerals, okay? Rare earth minerals. You have to mine them. Pretty common. I mean, United States used to have the biggest mine in the world. But we quit. We still mine, but it's the producing. You have to process the minerals, and a lot of these minerals takes acid. It's really hazardous, really toxic, because these minerals are bonded with other elements, other minerals. Okay, elements, minerals. So they're not by themselves. So you have to break that bond of the rare earth rare earth minerals from the others. So therefore, that process takes a lot of energy and takes a lot of chemicals to break that process down. So, and then once you get it processed down, and all that, the byproducts from it, it's very toxic. It's like nuclear waste. It's just quite not that bad, but it's really bad. And you got to store it because right now we just don't have a way to clean it up. That's why majority of the countries in the world, including the United States, quit processing the rare earth minerals. That's why China does it, because they don't care about their environment, and we don't care about their environment either. So we allow them to just destroy their planet. Destroy their the country and stuff. And then, because it takes all that diesel fuel, all the fossil fuels for all the equipment to run, and then you gotta mine it, then you gotta ship it to the processing facility. Then all that energy is used to break down and process the minerals. Then you gotta ship the minerals to wherever it's going, and then you gotta process the minerals into usable, or process it into the batteries and stuff. And then once you get that done, then you got to ship the batteries. And so there's so much behind the scene that people don't understand or don't think about. That's why electric cars is not a good idea, because they don't save on the environment. Before you start driving a electric car on the road, the carbon footprint is more than a gasoline car of its lifetime. So before the electric car even fires up, that carbon footprint of producing those batteries in the motor is far greater than a gas car can run for 20 years. That carbon footprint. So this is not better for the environment. This is not safer for us. It's just more convenient for us. That's all solar is convenience. We don't have to rely on the government. We don't have to pay, keep paying for an electric bill, and every year it goes up and up and up. All this is convenience. It's not safer for the environment or none of that stuff. It just allows us to have independence on our own. So, and then once the batteries go bad, like in electric cars, Once those batteries go bad, within 7 years, they last about 7 years. What do we do with the batteries? We do not have the technological know-how on to break the batteries down safely. We don't know. There's a couple European countries, I want to say, that is pretty good at breaking down some of the stuff, but there's a lot of stuff on batteries that we just can't break down. Where does these batteries go? They go in the landfill. They have to go somewhere special. Yeah, that's motion sensor. Sorry about that. But so it's not safer for the environment. The solar panels too are the same thing, to mine those minerals. So this is not safer for the environment, and this is not better for the environment. But what it is, it's more convenient. We don't have to depend on the government and on when power, when some kind of storm goes through or whatever happens, you know, we have power. So I am not doing my solar array to save the environment, to be better on the environment, because it's not. All this plastic would never break. It takes thousands of years for this plastic to break down. Electronics, some of the electronics can be recycled, but the battery itself cannot be recycled. Very small portion of it can. So these are not. So I'm just I'm going on this little tangent. Wind turbines, same thing for wind turbines. All the diesel and all the fossil fuels it takes to produce a wind turbine, that would never produce, and it would the energy it produces will never offset the cost of making it to begin with. So once the electric car, or once these are made, they don't put out a carbon footprint. Once a electric car is produced, once it starts driving on the road, it doesn't have a carbon foot. It doesn't put out carbon monoxide or has a carbon footprint. The machines itself don't have carbon footprints, but the carbon footprint it takes to produce it's 50,000 times greater than what this can ever save. My system here. I'm saving what, $50 a month, maybe, something like that. But it's just when we have to have solar and wind and these other, it's free energy in a way. It doesn't cost us anything to get the sun. Get the sun. It doesn't cost us anything, for the wind or even water. But we have to pay for the technology, the devices to collect that energy. So in there, this stuff here would never ever, all the money I'm saving, not, have my refrigerator, have my internet, and power goes out. Here in the summer, I'll be running, hopefully get more solar panels so I can run most of my house off of solar. But that carbon footprint I'm saving, because for less electricity I'm using, that's less carbon footprint, right? But it doesn't work that way. So I just want to get it out there. This is not safer solar and wind and all these others. So it's not safe. I mean, can't say safer, but it's not more. Look at her, ain't she pretty? It's not more better on the environment. It's actually worse on the environment. This is worse than if we just don't have this at all and just use the energy from the power grid. Because I got 30 power plants in my area within probably 30 miles of Terre Haute. There's about 3 power plants, 3 big ones. There's the Terre Haute power plant itself, Wabash Valley power plant. And then you got Merom power plant. I did a video on that. I didn't show you power plant, but I did a video of Merom. And then we have Cayuga power plant. And all 3 of these are coal-fired. I don't know about Terre Haute might not be coal-fired anymore. It might be gas now. Oh, well, but I got 3 power plants in this area, so that's all the infrastructure for the trains. Trains lose a lot of diesel, a lot of fossil fuels went into making the cars and mining it. You got all these, front loaders, and it's just everything that goes into making electricity. But we are so hooked on electricity. Our lives are revolved around electricity. Most of us, there are a lot of people out there who can survive electricity, but most of us grew up in electricity, and we don't know what to do if we don't have power. How are we going to keep our food cold? How are we going to, we're so used to having cold food, and we're so used to having going to the store and getting food and sticking in our fridge. And anytime we're hungry, we just go in the fridge, get the food out, throw it in the air fryer and cook it. You know what I'm saying? We're so used to that. But when that's gone, it will be gone. Our way our infrastructure is, it hasn't been taken care of for decades, and now we just don't have the money to take care of anything. And it's going to go shit. Excuse my language, but it's going to go. We already have, power issues all over the place. So this allows us to live our lives to where we kind of know what we like. We like to have a fan running. We like to have, a cold food, and then use a stove and stuff to make hot food. That's all. It's convenience that we are so used to, and so when the power goes out, we have the convenience of keep living our lives, and some people, not me, I don't pay for, if I pay for the heat is provided for me in my apartment. There's 3 apartments. There's one furnace that runs all 3 apartments. So my light bill is only like $70 a month. That's why it's so light. If I had to pay for heat, then most definitely I'd be trying to get a system in the house that is also for heat, and I don't have that. I don't have to worry about that. So, but I just want to make a quick video of the, I was watching a video, and they were saying the video was like, he was putting a whole new system in, and replacing his lead acid batteries. I mean, just, he got sponsored, SunGold sponsored him in his video and gave him probably $20,000 worth of equipment, easy, and he's putting it into his house and reviewing it and all that stuff. And I mean, good for him. If a company's going to do that, that's awesome. But he made a comment of how going solar is safer for the environment, or something to that extent, and got me thinking. And that's why I made this little video, made this rant, because it's not safer for the environment. Once it's produced, once it's made, once it's in place, it is safer for the environment. But how that got here is not safe for the environment, and that carbon footprint of mining the ores, separating the ores, shipping it to the processing, when that's the processing, mining, processing, and then the actual taking those minerals and produce and turn them into usable chemistries. And so I mean there are elements in these batteries that are not rare, but they're not abundant like most. That's why Bluetti just came out with the salt battery. It's a whole lot cheaper to produce, a whole lot better on the environment to produce it, but still it's got some stuff in there. So I just wanted to make this video. If you made it to the end here, I appreciate it. I just had to make the video of, it's not, I have nothing against solar. Solar is awesome. That's why I do solar, and I think everybody should go off grid and do solar and wind, and have other alternatives for fuel, power and stuff like that. But as for going solar to save the environment, it's that concept that does not exist. You're not saving the environment. You're making the environment worse by going solar, because the elements that it takes, the minerals that it takes to produce, we don't. They're running out. I mean, not running out, but it's the demand is so high now, and there's really only one country that does 80% of the processing of this, and that's China. And eventually, that place is going to go down. It's going to be, I mean, they're environmentally wrecked over there right now. So. But thank you guys. So this is not me hating solar. It's just me setting it straight that this is not safer for the environment. Right now it is. Right now I'm not using the extra energy from the grid. Right now it's safer for the environment. But to get it here and what it took to get it here, it's not safe for an environment. And so what I'm saving here, what I'm saving will never, ever match or go beyond what it took to produce it. It just won't. Because these batteries ain't going to last forever. If the electronics go bad in it, or something goes bad, the whole battery's trashed. And how are you going to break it down? We can't. We don't know how. Some things we can, but most of the things we can't. So, toxic waste. So you guys have a great night.